Good evening from Europe, good morning, good afternoon guys, wherever you are. Piotr here, this Liteforex Global YouTube channel. January came to the end when it comes to the trading indices. What a month, what a month. Well, we started with the very bullish tone, but then the things get very interesting last week. Of course, everyone heard about the GameStop and the story behind the GameStop. Very fascinating thing. What we have to remember that those big guys who are losing money being short, they are going to start to sell everywhere. Already started to cover some losses. So one of the reasons we've seen a really bad end of the month. Let's start with the Nasdaq. Overall, that was the rally, that was the base, and November and December going higher. Then we started January higher, but as you can see, we are ending around the yearly open, and this upper shadow at this very level doesn't look good. Overall, that November, December, beginning of January rally doesn't look good compared to that rally before the base. All right. So for me, looks like it might be bearish at the very beginning of the February. Then, of course, if we are going to have a market in a turmoil, then Fed and others are going to join the party trying to rescue, so be careful with the exposure. But for me, it's bearish right now, and what could be the target, and it could get ugly very quickly. So I'm going to make the measure based on the based on what we've seen in January. I'm going to make this range of the January. I'm going to make it lower, and look guys, it looks that we might test immediately this demand zone, right? We might test immediately this demand zone when it comes to the Nasdaq. If the volatility is going to go higher, then we might even make 3 times to the downside. Then immediately we are testing another demand, right? This huge zone over here. But as of now, well, 11,500, 11,200 on the Nasdaq cannot be ruled out. So, well, as long as the high holds, that's the monthly chart, guys. We are talking about the medium term. I'm bearish, at least towards 11,500, 11,200 on the Nasdaq. All right. So that's the Nasdaq. All right. Over the course of the day, we got some data out of the US, out of the Canada. When it comes to the Canadian GDP, was better than what market was expecting. US core PCE price index better, employment cost index higher, personal income higher. The only thing, personal spending was lower but above the market expectations. Chicago PMI back above 60, very good one. So with this data, market wasn't able to make this final window dressing towards the end of the month, and we've seen that this whole story with the GameStop and few other most shorted stocks took over, and the big guys are in real trouble. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have when it comes to the other indices. Okay, S&P 500, it looks even worse. All right. The thing is here 3,700, very close. All right, that's the yearly open. Okay, that's the yearly open. Let's make a different way. That's the yearly open, and it's very close to the December high. So what we have here is the thing related to the possible swing high. So eventually it could be that we are going to see straight move to the downside, but in case of the retest of the yearly open, that would probably be a little bit better entry, right? What I'm going to target in that case, again, 3,300, 3,250. Also, S&P 500 looks bearish or very bearish, even worse because of this negative body compared to the Nasdaq. The next one, another big failure. DAX, another big failure. So there was a problem around this 13,600, 13,700. Finally, on the beginning of the January, market jumped higher, but the end of the month showing the failure here on the DAX as well. So another chart which doesn't look good. So similar situation to what we discussed with S&P. Of course, we might go straight, right? But from the intraday perspective, we are going to watch as well. Rally back to yearly open, maybe even, because the situation here looks a little bit different, maybe even towards December high. That would be much better entry with the possibility to create a swing high towards the end of the February. All right. The next one, as you can see, almost each chart looks the same. Another one is FTSE. Here I would be a little bit more careful because we've seen this run towards the UK stocks. If we are going to have at least temporary positive sentiment, I would eventually, from the long-term perspective, if you are not yet on the market, I would wait for 50%, right? Of course, this looks ugly, no doubt about it, and that's the first level of the possible supply. Again, similar situation, possible swing high on the monthly chart, but eventually I wouldn't be surprised to see them at 7,250 in case of some positive sentiment on the market. So guys, overall we went through 2 US indices, we went through 2 European indices, all of them bearish for me, and I'm very interested how we are going to start on Monday with the first day of the February. With that being said, guys, don't be trapped, all right? Be careful, and I'm going to come to you with another update. Thank you, take care, goodbye, see you around.